Hi there, how's it all going with you guys? Well, for today's video, we will try to understand whether or not even the hardest hardline Brexiteer supporter are going to begin to smell the coffee, or are they still smelling those rotten vegetation on the meadows of the wasteland that may soon travel from our horizons right to our own doorsteps. So let's go. Today we heard from Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab that he attended a virtual signing ceremony with the nations that make up the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN to you and me, with the UK joining its Dialogue Partner Club in what he calls a major post-Brexit boost. Well, there we go, that's all great news. Now, I don't know about you, but I tend to be very wary of anybody that categorizes the ability to simply be part of a dialogue club as something that can be considered as a major success. I consider that very worrying. So let's be clear on what it is that has been achieved and how that may be beneficial. The term used by the Foreign Office and the mainstream media, of course, to categorize the UK's position within the group was, I thought, a little fudged. And like most things that come from this Conservative Party, I became suspicious. I guess that's what Brexit does to you after about 5 years of BS. But anyway, the UK has become, according to Raab, that is, a member of the Dialogue Partner Club. But there's a problem with this. You see, I've read the ASEAN Charter, and I'm very, very familiar with ASEAN business and social culture. And in order for an organization to be considered, whether seriously or not, it must be accredited correctly in order to carry weight, and not in some half-baked construct. Now, as there's no such mention or even an oblique reference to such a dialogue club group, it really carries little benefit because A, the UK already had access to these channels through their embassies, B, already had access to these channels through British companies operating in ASEAN, such as Shell, such as Lever Brothers, and especially BAE Systems, who have better access than anybody else in the world. In fact, I think BAE could open the doors to Aladdin's cave without the magic wand or even the lamp, if you know what I mean. Those are serious dudes and they have access across at the highest levels. But leaving all that aside, the UK also had access to this partners clubs since 1977. But I'll come back to that. So how does it work? Well, in 2019, when the world was a very different place, there were 22 meetings in 15 different countries. 22 meetings in 15 different locations in 10 different countries of the ASEAN group. Guys, these are essentially junkets for the boys. The ASEAN organization hasn't produced anything. And to give you an idea of how it works in Asia, take for instance when a minister from the UK travels from London to, say, Birmingham. He or she will have maybe a ministerial car, a couple of outriders, and maybe one escort car. Okay, maybe. Now, when a minister from Thailand, Malaysia, or Indonesia travels the same type of journey, oh boy, man, there will be at least 3 official charge cars, a couple of squad cars, and half a dozen outriders. Now, if God forbid it was the Prime Minister, there'd be at least 15 cars, a dozen motorbikes, and whatever else, maybe even an ambulance behind it, just in that entourage. And they have those facilities because they are accredited, and therefore they have power. And that's what rules the roost in Asia, power. Now, Dominic Raab claims that the UK will have stronger ties to these nations, which, by the way, made up of Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Myanmar, Brunei, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, the Philippines, and Vietnam. Because according to him, it will help underscore new British jobs, and it will see the UK invited to attend the AGMs of foreign and economic ministers. Now, no doubt they will discuss issues around the trade, investment, climate change, environment, science, technology, education, blah, 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 blah. And this sounds good, and maybe could be good. But then we learn it's nothing new. Nothing at all new, because the other formal partners of the bloc include the US, EU, China, India, Japan, and Russia. But Raab says this is a major boost, as it is part of Britain's wider push towards the Indo-Pacific in pursuit of a post-Brexit vision of a global Britain, which will include ramping up security and trade partnerships. He then waffled on about how this could help with engaging with China, and he intimated that this will lead to greater peace, stability, and prosperity for all because they're now part of the club. On point, Dominic. You're a bloody fool. If you think for 1 second that joining such a club, as you call it, while sailing the UK's carrier strike group into South China Seas is going to help relations with China, you are absolutely devoid of even the smallest amount of intelligence. In short, you're nuts. Absolutely nuts. Now, don't misunderstand me on this. I'm certainly not saying that what the Chinese are doing is right. It isn't right. They're bullying everybody around them. But for Raab to assert that signing such an agreement to be part of a members club will help relations with China, it's absolutely ludicrous. Now, what's even more stupid is that Raab is hailing this as some benefit because of Brexit. And again, an absolute barefaced lie. The UK already had access to this group, and in fact it was the former UK appointed negotiator, Sir Ivan Rogers, that attended those and other such meetings. So please, Dominic, baby, give us all a break here. Guys, that's all for now. I know it's a short one, and I'll see you on the flip side. You take care.